Generally, in the 19th century, there emerged a notion called as three-age system. It's a very simple notion, very profound notion, and very simplistic notion also at the same time. So, three-age system is a method of dividing human prehistory into three periods based on materials used to make tools and weapons: Stone Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age. This system was first developed by Christian Hugerson Thomason in the 1830s. Let us understand this for some time. The main point is that how do you divide the past? Because there is no written record, we don't have idea of dynasty, we don't have idea of timelines. How do we mention the progress? How do we measure the progress? The main progress can be measured in terms of the productivity. Productivity is direct outcome of your tools. So how the tools evolve become the main marker of studying human progress. Now this person, Thomason, was a person working in Denmark. Denmark at that time had a museum, National Museum of Denmark. And these people, Europeans in West Europe especially, had started to already create global empires. They captured parts of coastal Africa, parts of India, parts of America, etc. From wherever these Europeans went, they brought back some items of curiosities, antiquaries, and they just collected and dumped them in their museums. अब सब हमारा है. अभी recently you saw last month what happened. You know Sotheby's. Sotheby's is auction house, a globally famous auction house. नीलामी करते हैं, वो पैसे कमाते हैं नीलामी करके. And people who want to sell any heritage item go to Sotheby, and उसके तरह चार पांच और हैं. Sotheby's is very famous to auction and earn money, and Sotheby's keep the fees, a cut. So last month, 40-50 days ago, Sotheby, which is based in London, has Hong Kong campus or Hong Kong branch. Hong Kong branch ने announce किया, we are going to auction बुद्ध की अस्थियां, Buddha's relics. The moment I read the news, I was shocked. It's not some family heirloom. It's not some random monument or artifact that you can just auction for वो 1 लाख रुपए एक, 1 लाख रुपए दो, 1 लाख रुपए तीन, ऐसे नहीं. These are Buddha's body remains. There's some sacredness attached to it, some respect. Indian government has given them legal notice and stopped the auction for now. We don't know what will happen. We have to wait and watch. But the point is that the same thing Europeans have been doing for last 200 years. Denmark, they had ransacked lot of colonial places and even European their own land and collected all the tools and materials which they found very interesting in the museum. Nobody had studied them. This person got some free time. He was very good at pattern recognition. So he just collected those tools and bones and whatnot and arranged them, and he could see, acha, it seems that some tools are older than the others. It seems that some tools are primitive than the others. See, I remember this. This is the time of 1830s. This is 110, 120 years before the discovery or innovation of carbon dating. Carbon dating started to be used in 1940s and 50s. And couple of decades afterwards, it was calibrated. 70s mein. So carbon dating hai nahi. And you don't know how to date. You don't even know which is older than which. At that time, through his observations, he properly derived his own idea that some tools are older. So apne aap mein, this is a very great intellectual feat, no doubt. And he came with the idea that stone tools are older, the copper bronze tools are middle, iron is later. So point hai ki the tools are evolving with time. Why do tools evolve with time? This is I want to ask you some probing, searching questions, because don't think of this thing as only mutual simple facts collection. Then history कोई मतलब नहीं है. You should ask why. People's need evolve, correct? What kinds of need evolve? So with more experience. Okay, so her point is with experience you create better tools. Well, this is not a guarantee, or this is only one part. It is true. The more experience you have, you make better notes for exam, also you write better answers. है ना? So that is true, but for that experience to be accumulated and creative response to come, you need to have biological evolution also. The brain cranial capacity should increase. The hand should become more dexterous. So you have experience, you have biology, the thinking process, symbolic thinking. For you to look at a stone and imagine a shape inside the stone and then go and carve it. It takes a lot of imaginative thinking. It is a specific level of brain development. So you have biological evolution, that is one thing. And second thing, environment also is changing. In the Paleolithic era, it was very cold. Animals were different. In the later era, environment changed, animals change, plants change. So you need better tools, different tools, because that is the purpose of tool. So change in human biology and change in environment. Ultimately, the purpose of tool is to conquer the environment or to adapt to the environment. जैसे भी आपको. So humans are changing, nature is changing. In between, the tools will also change with time. Otherwise, we won't survive. So that is the evolution of tool. Clear? After he came with the stone, bronze, and iron, let me ask one more thing. Why do you think that we have seen history is not linear? It may go up and down also. So why do you think that across the world, the Bronze Age comes first and Iron Age comes later? Why, at least in some part of the world, in some culture, sometime, why it did not go in the other direction? Why not iron first, bronze later? Not necessarily. Rather, bronze comes from copper. It's a copper alloy, and copper access is actually not very easy. It's not in every state. Iron is available everywhere, at least in less quantities. No, it's मिट्टी. स्मेल्ट करना है. इट हैव अ फर्नेस. डालो मिट्टी उसके अंदर, निकलेगा. Melting point. Once you have a furnace or a bloomery, you start heating. You need to take the temperature gradually up. As temperature reaches certain point, whatever metal is there that melts at that point comes out. Then temperature goes higher, then that material comes out. Right? So the copper melting point is 500 degrees lesser than iron melting point. So when you start creating the furnace, automatically you will first reach 1000 degrees. And then you will reach 1500 degrees. And from 1000 to 1500 degrees, it takes a lot of effort and generations of efforts to have a better furnace, better oxygen supply, better bellows, better draw system. So iron can be extracted only and only when you have much better furnace. That would come after a point. At the lesser furnace, at simple furnace, copper will immediately be extracted. So first it is available, first you use it. So it is a melting point. That is the main difference. Now you come to this second person, John Lubbock. John Lubbock was a British polymath, British person, and he then went on studying the Stone Age further. In the Stone Age, what he said is that it's a very long age. There is very minute development over time. It's a very long journey, very slow and laborious journey. You have to crawl before you walk, and you have to walk before you run. So if the stone is crawling, bronze is walking, iron is running. Or if you are horse aficionado, so trot, canter and gallop. Right? Trotting, cantering, galloping. But the earliest phase, Stone Age, was itself a very slow age. उसके अंदर भी तो जाके देखें हम क्या है. So start to study that. You know, एक thinker ने कहा है, what is the progress of knowledge? The progress of knowledge is the gradual and further refinement of terms. That's terminology आपकी जितनी sharp हो, उतना knowledge ज़्यादा है. Initially, we had just prehistory. From prehistory, we came to stone, bronze, iron. We had sharper terminology. Now, from that, within stone, you have the paleo and Neolithic. You have even further sharper terms coming up because your understanding is improving. So ultimately, we have this kind of graph. Let us study that for some time. This blue thing is entire Stone Age. Then you have Copper Age or Chalcolithic Age and an Iron Age. The Stone Age started 5 lakh years ago, continued till 1000 BC almost. The years may vary based on the location. Here, the Stone Age is divided into two parts originally. You have the Old Stone Age, Paleo means old, and New Stone Age, matlab Neo, old and new. Much later, somebody added a middle phase, So middle Stone Age is Mesolithic. Even within that, you will see that Paleolithic, lithic matlab stone, is very wrong, very long. ये भी लाखों साल का है, 5 lakh to 10,000. So let us further subdivide it. So when they further subdivide, you get lower, middle, and upper. Now, why do you think it is called lower, middle, and upper? What is lower and upper here? Hmm? Progress is low. No. Lower valley to upper valley? No. No. These are not judgments. I'll tell you, it's very simple. You know, archaeology, you have to excavate the things. So you have, let us say you have a mound like this, a mound. You have to dig the mound. So in the mound, you have different stratas like this, stratas. As you start digging from the top, you make a trench, remove this material, you go deeper, you go older in past. So this stratigraphic analysis or study of stratas tells us that upper stratas are recent and lower stratas are older. So that is this. The deeper you go in excavation, backward you go in time, right? So when you look at this lower Paleolithic, it is the lowest most level in excavation where such tools are found. Then middle and upper is uppermost level. Then on top of that, you have Mesolithic and Neolithic. Is this much clear? So don't confuse. Lower Purana hoga. Now, one more thing. In the lower Paleolithic, we'll see those things later. After Lithic era, you have, or after Stone Age, we have something called a Chalcolithic age. What is Chalcolithic? Copper. Then comes Iron Age. But you see the difference, a very interesting difference. You have Paleolithic, which has, after that we have Mesolithic, Neolithic, then you have Chalco or Copper Lithic. Why Lithic? Why? It is not Stone Age. No, Stone Age is over. Copper Age is not part of Stone Age. Tools are made of copper only. Then why Lithic? No. Okay. Then that can be done even today. So when you come to Iron Age, why not call it ferrolithic? Iron is ferrous, no? Ferrolithic. If that is the logic that stone is being used along with copper in a composite kind of tool, then that might have happened in Iron Era also, Iron Age also. But why not ferrolithic age? It's a good viewpoint, but not applicable here. Perfect. Correct. So copper is softer. Copper doesn't solve all the requirements, doesn't fulfill all the requirements, doesn't replace stone completely. Iron is harder. It has got more strength. So only when iron could come, we could become industrial. We could replace, we don't need stone tool anymore. Copper is soft. So copper के साथ साथ stone इस्तेमाल करने की जरूरत पड़ती रही हमेशा. Copper was inadequate to replace stone. ठीक है. Bronze is, yes, bronze is actually the sub category of copper age. In that, different people created different types of copper alloys with tin, with arsenic, with nickel, etc. When some people created bronze, bronze was harder, bronze was better. Preparing bronze was very difficult, but at least for some time it becomes so important that it is not that it replaced stone. No, stone continued. Harappa is bronze age, it has a lot of stone tools also. But bronze is so iconic that we gave the name Bronze Age. Yes. Okay. Now this kind of evolution from stone to chalco to iron is also problematic. For three age system is easy to remember, but this is not a very logical system. Firstly, it lacks global applicability. Not everywhere such transformation takes place. It does not take place, for example, in Australia, in Pacific Islands, in parts of America. We can see the change going directly from stone to iron also. You don't have to have copper in between. Secondly, what it tells us is technology determines everything. Our exclusive latching on to only tool technology as the base identity of entire culture of the era. That culture of the Stone Age is defined by stone tools. Is it so? It need not be so. But we gave of 10, 15 other parameters of judging the culture, we gave one parameter the premium point कि हाँ tools से हम सब define कर देंगे. Is it that? It's not. Stone tools don't determine everything. What are tools? Don't, tools are very important. They don't determine. And then तीसरी बात ये transformation जो है, it may not be very watertight. There would be many communities which would be overlapping. It doesn't happen in the same dates everywhere in the world. Even today, you have Banjaras. They don't settle down. So can you say that they are still in the pre-Neolithic era? They are not even agrarian people yet. ऐसे नहीं होता ना. So we have those. This comes with lot of value judgments, and most importantly, it neglects other material. Other material. You know, in the stone tools era, जब हम stone age शब्द यूज करते हैं, it gives us a feeling that stone was the most important tool material. Is it so? Why is it not so? Yes. So what other tools they were using? Bronze in stone age कैसे bronze आएगा? Wooden tools. Wood is more accessible, easier to work with. It would solve half the problems. You don't have to go to stone को तराश के बनाना कितनी मेहनत का काम है. When you have no other tool, stone से stone आपको घिस घिस के करना है. It takes lots of efforts. Wood is easily available, accessible. It's much better. What has happened is that the wood has not survived today. It's a perishable material. So what we have is what has survived. So we have survivor bias. The proportion of stone tools today in entire cultural assembly may be very high. Because बाकी सारा खत्म ही हो गया. But if you go back in time, there will be 10 other things which have perished now. But in that complete picture, stone would be one of the things, not the main thing. And there is a lot of possibility that wooden tools were more often used than stone tools. Stone tools are used not as directly, they are used to create wooden tools. And wooden tools are used in normal life. Stone is a tool maker's tool. And how do we know that it's not just a guesswork? You have to go for micro wear and tear analysis with the help of different kinds of scopes, telescopes, like SEM, scanning electron microscope. You look at the profile of the surface. The tear mark, the wear mark tell us कि भाई this is not being used every day. It is used once in a while to prepare some other tool. So some people have recommended other name. They said कि we should go by the tool which is most prevalent. लकड़ी का tool, लकड़ी का नाम दो उसको. Paleozylic age. Zylic मतलब लकड़ी का. So rather than Paleolithic, they say use Paleozylic age. Because when the moment you use word zylic, it means it is wood. But again, we don't have any evidence of that directly. I will use one phrase again and again in our lectures in the coming time. वो है absence of proof is not proof of absence. This is a very important term in history to understand how the sources work. Absence of proof is not proof of absence. So if I use a more logical or more scientific term, to prove anything, we need to have positive evidence, not negative evidence, to disprove anything. Negative evidence can't disprove anything. Positive evidence can prove anything. Absence of proof is not proof of absence. ठीक है? Anyway, we'll come back to that later again and again. Let us now move further. अभी तक ठीक चल रहा है? Do you find this as very slow? Should I increase the speed? नहीं, this speed is fine. Initial इसमें थोड़ा सा धीरे धीरे चलना पड़ता है. Let us move on then.